Walleye and yellow perch share a close relationship.
Oh, he's going for the dead stick.
Not only in the fact that they are members of the same family, actually known as perch.
Yep, I like these late spring bobbers.
But also in that they favor similar underwater environments.
This is a pretty good fish, too. Oh, no. That was the second one. Came to the bottom. It's a walleye. Here there were two fish there, and this one went right by the spoon. At least I thought it was this fish. Went right by the spoon, and I thought he hit the top jig. But it was the bottom one that hit it. So the walleye that I was thinking was going to bust it really wasn't, or the fish that I thought was going to bust it didn't even get it. It was the one that was sitting there I thought that wasn't interested came and busted this one. I'm here out in the deeper water trying to get perch and got a nice walleye.
Although Lake Gogebic isn't as large as, say, Minnesota's Mille Lacs Lake, which comes in at 207 square miles, it's still plenty capable of producing equally monster perch.
Printing a couple on the graft. Seems like they're coming in schools. All right, we're hooked up. Feels like a pretty good fish.
In less total area at 20.7 square miles, roughly 1/10 the size of Mille Lacs, but less area isn't necessarily easier to fish.
Nice male.
So not only knowing where to look, but especially what to look for on the graph is crucial, since Gary, John, and Keith are using a combination of jigging rod with a spoon, plus 2 dead sticks with 4 jigs between them as their presentation.
Hey, I tell you what, while I've got my other 2 lines in here and my jig rod out, let's take a look at the graph here. I'll show you how cool this looks fishing for these perch. I mean, it's almost like a video game. So what we've got on the graph here is I've got it in split screen mode. On this half over here, what I've got is the full water column. That way, if a fish comes in high, you'll be able to see him and reel up to him and maybe jig him in. But over on this side, we've got a zoomed in 4x zoom. Down here, we've got the bottom. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of lines stagnantly going across the screen, and what those are from is those jigs that are on my dead rods. So on my right hand rod I've got line 1 and then line 3, and on my left hand rod I've got line 2 and line 4. Sometimes the fish will just kind of fade up from the bottom and kind of hang around a line. Then a lot of times what I'll do is I'll tap that spring bobber to give that jig a little action and try and trigger that bite. But other times the fish will just kind of roar right in and come right up to the lure. Don't do anything. They're hot, they're aggressive, they're probably going to hit it. But you can actually watch and see how aggressive those fish are and help you have a lot more fun out here fishing. Oh, look here. Here's a fish. He's coming up, 1, 2, 3, all the way to this one over here. 4, he's right there. Here he is. Oh, I got him. Well, that's the way you do a tip right there. Cue the fish. Look at the size of this thing. This is actually our acting fish. You know, you cued just right, came up hot and heavy, bit the top lure, and that's how you do it here on Lake Gogebic.
The Real Deal, real fishing information from real fishing experts, presented by AmSoil.
This Nitro ZV21 is just a tremendous all-purpose fishing boat, big water boat, big boat. Specifically for musky fishing, it's awesome because of that amount of room. You've got a tremendous amount of width and deck space everywhere. I've also got floor space where I can put my big tackle boxes. Musky guys have got a tremendous amount of gear, and speaking of gear, we have a lot of rods and we use long rods, so we've got this big center storage. You can actually get 8'6" rods in there. I can get 10 different rods in there. Now on the front deck here, you've got a tremendous amount of room. You can actually cast 2 anglers up on the front deck. But one thing that I did this year, you can order these boats without that passenger console, which is really nice. Provides an extra amount of room in here. And then the other thing is you're able to move back and forth at the side of the boat. Now, muskies a lot of times are going to hit right by the side of the boat. Obviously, they're a real big fish, and a lot of times they'll take you for a walk. So if you get that strike here, you can move right on down. If you're in the back of the boat, you're able to move right on up, possibly to the front of the boat, and even take that fish around the bow of the boat if you absolutely need to. It also allows you to fish 4 anglers off the same side of the boat. So it's a little bit to give up. It's a cold day right now, and it's nice to have that console on the passenger side for when you're driving, but specifically for musky anglers, I recommend trying this boat without the passenger console, taking advantage of all that extra room.